Alright, Path of Exile fans, welcome to a semi-build guide video of the Forbidden Rites Totem setup that I've already uploaded quite a few videos on. Um, Take it with a grain of salt right now. This is not a finished build. This is by far from finished. It is still needing gear. It needs cluster jewels. I need to redo the skill tree a ton still, but as the character currently sits, and from all the videos that you guys have watched already, this can do up to Act 10, Act 11, Awakener 5 Conquerors, and a couple other like little mini bosses, etc. The whole purpose of this character is a boss killer. This is not a clearer. I mean, it can be a map clearer. It is a slower play style for a map clearer. Don't expect a speed run through things, but man, when you get this character on a boss and get your totems down, it melts them. It is not a very good delver. I've already tried like level 80 to 100 delve depth on this thing. It's just too slow of a play style for delve, and the totems are dying a little bit too slow right now. But I did level this original totem tune as an arc totem, so that's why you kind of see a little bit of weirdness in the skill tree and everything. The gear is absolute crap. um, the reses are capped, which is a good thing right now. I have only 3700 life. It's got really good mana. It's got about 2100 mana. It's got good regen. Like I said, the skills are kind of all over the place, but the way I originally started it is, like I said, an arc totem tune. So we kind of trekked up this path here. We took retention or retribution. We came into light of divinity, holy domination. We have righteous decree, mana reduction, etc. We came over here. We got the life nodes. We got increased maximum mana, etc. Now, the skills that you do not need for Forbidden Rite totems are going to be as followed. You're going to take these 3 points out here. You're going to take this one out, elemental resistance. You're going to take this dexterity. Actually, let me see. You need to keep this dex node, but you're going to take out this intelligence node. You're going to take out this one, and this one. You're also going to be removing lightning walker and elemental damage. If once you get if you get the extra respect orbs, I'm kind of short on them right now. That's why I'm making another tune to be a farmer. So that'll give you an additional skill points, which you want to toss up here into this cluster jewel setup. This is a large cluster jewel. Ideally, if you want to maybe a 10, because increased chaos damage is a very nice buff modifier for your Forbidden Rites. You want to try and get all attributes. Elemental resistance on here if you are not LE capped. That helps a ton. I got maximum mana just as a random roll. You need Touch of Cruelty. That is mandatory. You need to get Touch of Cruelty on this cluster jewel. Then you're going to come up to this one, which is going to be a medium cluster jewel. 4 is ideal for this one. I just happened to get a 5-1 with this roll right off the back. Just don't ask me how I did it, but it works, so I'm sticking with a 5. The only difference is instead of taking this node right here, you're basically just going to take Ancestral Preservation. You're going to take Totem Damage. You're going to take Ancestral Reach. And then you're going to come over here and take this small socket. This small socket jewel right here, you want a jewel with totem life and totem damage on it. That is what's going to complete this jewel socket right here. Any other buff modifiers you get on that jewel is up to you, but those are the 2 primary stats you need. For chaos damage nodes, you are going to take this entire tree right here, and you're going to get 20% increased effect of wither for your wither totem setup. I do not have a wither totem setup yet in this build, but it is coming. Like I said, the gear is still really junk. Once you get that wither totem setup done, it's going to be, I believe, wither totem, or it's going to be spell totem, wither, multi-totem, and then faster casting. I believe those are going to be the 4 links that you're going to need for the wither totem setup. So you put that in a 4 link and you're good. That'll really increase your one-on-one DPS. For the most part, you're going to need this jewel right here, which is 20% increased damage per curse on you. An additional curse can be applied to you. Lagoon Viridian Jewel. It's a little expensive, but it is mandatory for this build. So this really bumps your totem DPS, and we'll get more into how this interacts with the chest piece once we get into the gear screen. And the other mandatory jewel is going to be this one right here. 3% increased totem life per 10 strength and allocated radius. This helps your DPS a lot too. So basically 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's going to be an additional 12% totem life, which is very good for this jewel socket. This helps a ton with your overall Forbidden Rites DPS. As you can see, our average hit per primary projectile in Forbidden Rites right now is 21,000, which gets up to almost 176,000 DPS per totem, which is ridiculous. This build is going to be eventually capped out at 2.5 to 3 million damage per totem once I get it done, so stick around for that guide. Next, we are going to move into the skills. Like I said, my skills are all over the place right now. This is not optimized. They're not leveled. They're not qualitied. So this is a very cheap setup right now that works up to T10, T11, and does Awakener 5 Conquerors very easily. I'm running Steel Skin with increased duration, cast while Delman taken rank 2. Mainly, this is for cast on damage and Immortal Call. We are running Harafen. I do have Conviction of Power, Mana Regen. I took the Totem Placement, additional Totem, and then we got Mana Regen and Totem Placement, and then 5% more damage for Summon Totem and Ritual of Awakening. The next 2 skill points you get are going to be up to you. You can either go Mind Over Matter for additional Mind Over Matter tankiness, which is recommended for this build because it is kind of squishy. Or if you really want to, you can go increase Arcane Surge and Arcane Surge buff on you. When this is not really recommended, I would go Divine Guidance. This is a better bang for the buck because this is it is going to increase your DPS a little bit more, but this gives you more versatility overall, and it does give you a little bit more of a bump. That's 14 K DPS right here. So I would highly recommend you get this one. All right, let's get back into the skills. I am running a Discipline and a Clarity. Immortal Call. Steel Skin is manually casted. That is just FYI, Immortal cast 1 damage taken is not triggering Steel Skin. That is manually casting. We have an Assassin's Mark on an Arcanist brand with faster casting for more one-on-one deeps. I got Flame Dash with a level 1 Arcane Surge, just for a little more versatility, cast speed, mana regen, etc. I am running a Vitality just to give me some life regen. We do have a Summon Lightning Golem. This is mandatory. You can put this in any of your 4-link. You get Summon Lightning Golem, Minion Life, Culling Strike, and Elemental Army to make him a little more tanky. He still does die a lot, but just make sure you have him summoned up when you are facing a boss or a big tough enemy. Okay, main setup is Forbidden Rites. We have the Forbidden Rites spell. We have Void Manipulation. We have faster casting with Volley, increased crit strikes, and increased crit damage. As you can see, they are only level 16 and 15 with a 19 faster casting. You heard that right. This is a level 16 Forbidden Rites doing Awakener 5 Conquerors and T10 map bosses. Absolutely ridiculous, and you're still getting almost 200,000 DPS a totem. Absolutely insane. And these are just basically just because I got a Gall helmet. Okay, equipment. Like I said, this is not optimized. Take it with a grain of salt. I have a basic wand with spell damage, Cold damage to spells, increased cast speed. This is a little bit of a gimpy wand. I did put increased critical strike chance for spells, which does help on the Forbidden Rites totem, which does bump our crit chance up to 66.41%, and we are getting almost a 400% multiplier. So we are getting near crit cap, which is really, really good. And this is with power charges and everything up too. So shield is just a generic increased crit strike chance for spells, energy shield, a little bit of life, a little of belly res, and as you can see, it is a level 33 shield. So, like I said, the gear is not the best. I just kind of rushed the end game with arc totems and kind of did a little bit of mapping. This was my very first tune, so I did make it an arc setup. It did work pretty well up to a point. I just have a basic Gaul Raven mask to give me a little bit of life, energy shield, and some res. Mandatory item: 6 link soul mantle spider silk robe. This is the main thing of our build. I just got +2 socketed accursed gems and 4% increased maximum energy shield. Pretty worthless buffs, but I've only literally paid like 10 chaos for this thing, so I'm not going to complain on what the modifiers are. But this gives your socketed gems a level 20 spell totem, which basically makes it a 7 link with the Forbidden Rites setup. We get increased spell damage, energy shield, and +1 maximum totems. Now this is the main part of this build. Inflicts a random hex on you when your totem dies with 80% more effective. This is a self-casting curse infliction on you. So you're going to be taking a lot of curses on you, so we're going to have to mitigate that a little bit. We just got basic gloves, which are level 12, as you can see. Just got a little bit of dex, a little bit of life, and a little bit of res. Boots, mandatory boots. You need the Torkin Step Anti-Greaves. Very, very cheap, 1 to 5 chaos. It's got armor, totem life, movement speed, and the main thing, increased totem placement speed, and totems reflect 100% of their maximum life as fire damage when they are hit. Very, very good setup. We'll get back into the skills in a second for these boots, because one of the skill nodes we have does have totems taunt for 1 second, so that's very good. We have a generic amulet. You need to allocate ironwood. Ironwood is very, very good for this build, and I'll show you guys that back in the skill tree in a second. Mandatory item: you need the Kelza and Topaz ring. This reduces curse effectiveness on you by 60%. So this kind of mitigates the curse chest, the self-cursing chest. I can't speak. The self-casting curses on you. That's the word I was looking for. I would probably get a second one of these just to fully mitigate it. That would give you basically 160% reduced effective curses on you, but it doesn't stack like that, I believe. I think it'll probably be like 60 plus. It'll basically negate the full effects of the spider silk robes on you, so which is really good. I'm just running a generic Lee Hoop for res and damage and attributes. Belt is very straightforward. Nothing fancy, just some res, some life, some mana, and ES. Flask are nothing really fancy. Immunity to shock. Enduring mana flask does really help with your mana sustainability for mind over matter. I do have a sulfur flask with reduced effects of curses on you, so that does help mitigate a little bit more of the curses damage. Spell leeches energy shield, and then we just got a standard diamond flask with immunity to freeze and chill effects, which is really good. As I can say, the cluster jewels are as followed. These two are mandatory. We have totem strength. We have reduced totem damage and totem fires, 2 additional projectiles. This is mandatory also. Rain of Splinters ×1. Get this. It's depending on how many people are buying this, this can be anywhere between 10 and 50 chaos, give or take. And then we have the Self-Learned Vidian Jewel, which is also kind of between like 30 and 50 chaos. A little bit pricey, but it does work out. As you can see, for the Forbidden Rites effective DPS, we are doing about about 176,000 DPS per totem right now. Attacks is about 1.39 a second. We have 74% improved cast speed. We're running 66% crit with about 400% crit multi. Nothing too fancy. I mean, we do got max reses. Now back to the skill tree. This is iron wood is down here. This is 30% increased totem life. Totems gain 30% elemental resistance and 150 armor per totem, which is really, really nice. That's a very nice notable to a lot of Kate. And the main other thing I want to point out is we got life mastery plus 50 life right here. Totem mastery. Totems taunt enemies around them for 1 second when summoned. That is mandatory. That helps save your ass a lot when you spawn these totems. And then we have 60% increased global critical strike chance for if you summoned a totem recently. So this helps you a little more with crit bonuses. And that is basically this build in a nutshell, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, once you strip these 2 points out, you take out all these points. And actually, you know what? Since we're in Path of Building, I'm going to kind of do this right now to show you. This will not cap you on lightning res if you take this out right now using this setup and my crappy gear. But just for the points of showing how everything looks, we're going to take all these nodes out. These are mandatory. You need these two right here. Alright, that gives us an additional... let me see, how many additional skill? It does drop our deeps down a little bit, but we're going to take Ancestral Preservation. We'll grab this one. We're going to grab this and this. We'll get this cluster. Let's see. You really don't need these right here, but just to kind of put these back in and show you, and it bumps our deeps back up. So, I mean, and we still got extra skill points to spend, so it is a very effective build. So, I mean, if you guys want to try it, give it a shot, go for it. And if you like this, give it a thumbs up, and I will finish the master build of this once I actually get the gear, the respecs. Oh yeah, and we forgot to take this one out too. Yeah, and that pretty much just nuked the entire build. So, alright, I'm not going to save this as is. So, like I said, I will post the master build on this when it is done. I will post a new gear update within coming days or whatever. I will get the additional cluster jewels in here. And then this will just give you an idea of what the Forbidden Rites setup kind of looks like right now. So, catch you guys all at the next one.